Welcome everyone to this presentation for the Introduction to Sustainable Development course of the Sustainability Graduate Program at the University of Sonora. We, Carla Maria Lopez Soto and Jorge Alejandro Medrano Ricarday, are the members of Team F, and today's topic is about energy and sustainability in Mexico. Mexico has advanced through different energetic transitions that can be summarized as follows. A first period when energy sources were mostly those provided by human and animal muscles, firewood, and rudimentary tools and machines that took advantage of wind and water forces, like old water mills. This period overlapped the subsequent one until the decade of 1940. This second stage pointed to modern primary energy sources, starting in 1879 with the construction of the first electric plant, followed by hydroelectric plants and oil fields during the first decade of the 20th century, and prominent from 1940. The next phase of Mexican energetic transition initiated in the decade of 1960 with the transition from oil to gas that remains current to the present days. Finally, it can be identified a fourth period marked by the emergence of alternative sources of energy, mainly non-renewable ones, including nuclear, biomass, wind, solar, and geothermal energy, with a strong impulse to hydroelectric energy. Mexico produces primary and secondary energies. Official statistics classify the primary sources in the next categories: coal, crude oil, condensed gas, natural gas, nuclear energy, hydro energy, geothermal energy, wind energy, cane gas, biogas, and solar energy. Natural gas and crude oil represent the main primary energy sources. In fact, almost 84% of primary energy in Mexico comes from hydrocarbons, what explains widely the vulnerability of the nation to blackouts, a phenomenon that has become more constant in recent years due to changes in the availability of these sources. On the other hand, Mexico is a secondary energies importer with an increasing deficit. Gasoline, diesel, and gas concentrate almost 90% of the total deficit of this country. This data reflects the small size of the Mexican energy transformation industry, what impacts directly the economy of the country and elevates the prices of the energetics to the Mexico's population. Mexico is the 16th biggest energy consumer in the world, but its consumption is way bigger than its domestic production. This means that Mexico is dependent from other countries' energies to fulfill our energy needs. The per sector energy consumption in Mexico in 2019 was as follows: agricultural 4%, industrial 32.8%, residential, commercial and public 19.6%, transportation 41.8%. From 2012 to 2019, hydrocarbons production in Mexico has declined by 34%. Because of this, energetic imports have had to increase to satisfy the also increasing demand for energy in the country. Even so, the current administration of the federal government, under the leading of Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, has pursued the energetic sovereignty by appealing to retake the control of the oil and electrical production in the country, trying to re-establish the Mexican state energy monopoly through Pemex and CFE. In the past 2 years, the federal government has injected to Pemex approximately $12,900 million to help the public company to manage its debt payments and financial losses, which ascend to 839,000 million pesos, equivalent to around 13% of the 2021 approved federal budget, besides the 91,000 million Mexican pesos destined up to now the construction of a new refinery in Tabasco, whose projected cost of $8,000 million calculated by the Ministry of Energy could rise to a range of $10,000 to $12,000 million according to Moody's, an important financial ratings company. Basically, this government is betting the energetic and financial prosperity of the nation to oil, abandoning the development of renewable sources and ignoring the international compromises signed to address climate change by reducing CO2 emissions.
Hello, my name is Carla Lopez, and I'm going to talk to you about the initiatives and Mexican official standards. The most recent initiative in Mexico is a draft decree that reforms and adds various provisions of the electricity industry law. This initiative, sent to the Congress by instructions of the President of the Republic, AMLO, has as its main purpose to guarantee reliability and price rate system, which will only be updated due to inflation. It contemplates adjustments in relation to strategic planning, avoiding excessive growth related to the instability of bets on renewable energies. Regarding national security, this initiative intends that the Federal Electricity Commission, CFE, together with other institutions in charge of managing the energy of domes, address the problems caused by floods that have affected so many Mexicans. On the specific matter of technical regulations aimed at energy efficiency, a lot of progress has been made in the last 29 years, since the Federal Law of Metrology and Standardization came into force in 1992, which defines responsibilities in the public sector for the issuance of official Mexican standards. This in order to establish the characteristics and/or specifications that products and processes must meet when they may constitute a risk to the safety of people or damage human, damage animal and plant health, the general and work environment for the preservation of natural resources. According to the CONUE, the National Commission for the Efficient Use of Energy, by the end of 2018, Mexico had 32 norms in force and a conformity assessment system made up of 74 test laboratories, 10 certification bodies, and more than 200 verification units. This means, well, that our country has a very prosperous system with positive effects that are notorious in the evolution of energy consumption. First, we have to understand what the nomener are. These norms focus to ensure the efficient use of energy. There are like technical specifications of mandatory application, and that integrate cutting-edge technology to devices, equipment, and systems that are manufactured and marketed in Mexico. And some of the products and systems under the NOM are the following: appliances, air conditioners. You can see it at industrial and commercial level, in lighting, and buildings. Among the most outstanding impacts or advantages of the NOM are the decrease in the consumption of electrical energy at the residential level, the preservation of non-renewable natural resources, the energy savings nationwide, environmental benefits such as the reduction in the emissions of tons of carbon dioxide annually, and savings of millions of pesos annually. Once the energy system in the country is understood, the influence caused by sustainable development in the system itself and in society can be identified. We could highlight three aspects: the security and quality of supply, the coverage of the basic energy requirements, and the rational exploitation of natural energy resources. But in order to boost the energy transition in Mexico, it is necessary to focus on public policies. Unfortunately, the current energetic policy has privileged outdated energy sources. We need to consider a variety of factors such as infrastructure, existent and needed, production methods, consumption patterns, and Inequality access. Mexico has almost 2 million people without electricity service. If we are not capable of solving such a problematic, the majority of proposals in this topic will be worthless. Bibliographic references. Thank you for your attention.